Crazy. Crazy. Oh. Audio okay? Oh, fuck. I am so tired, dude. Let's put this here. I was just waiting to make this not auto scroll. Show uses pronouns, that's crazy. I could put it over, well, I could put that over here. Except like, yeah, there's no fucking way I'm gonna read that. It's all the way over there. Maybe I'll put that. Nah, that's not gonna work. What are you thinking? I could, well. I could. Maybe I will. Huh. If I move that monitor there, or swap those two speakers so I can put that on top. Is that even gonna work? I don't even know if it's gonna work. Yo, what's up, Smelly? I'm just like looking at my setup here. I made some changes. Don't know if I like that. Maybe I'll move that monitor there. Whatever. I'll figure it out. I look swole? No, thanks. I honestly haven't been working out much. The past week, I've just been something of a frog-like creature. I need to get back in the gym though. How you doing, buddy? Didn't go live Monday. I was traveling yesterday. Super early flight. I'm still super tired, not gonna lie. So I just didn't. I forgot to make a post about it. But yeah, so I didn't go live Monday. But we're here today. Probably gonna be a short stream. To be honest, I didn't prepare anything. Today, I'm just really exhausted. But you know, it's kind of like more of the same. You know, the war continues on. And it's just everything in the news is just like pissing me off. It's just like, and then it got worse, and then here's more bad news. But it's like a ping pong between like all of Trump's lowlights. It's like the war escalates, the war rages on, this unbelievable war that we found ourselves in. And then I look over here and it's like more Indian scammers. Here are more examples of Indian visa scams and nepotism. It's like, oh, that's wonderful. You know, I look over here, more mass layoffs, worse than the 2008 housing crisis. 40% of something like what college grads or something, or recent college grads are unemployed. Something like 90% of software engineers that graduated like in this past fall, or sorry, last year, are still unemployed in their industries. It's like, dude, man, it is cooked. Staying true to the Kuiper aesthetic, yeah, true. Yeah, true. Fuck it. So, yeah. But I've just been really tired and maybe a little, burnt out isn't the word. It's just exhausting, you know? It's like that picture, it's like that picture of Hitler, and he's like lying back like this, and the subtitles, it's all so tiresome. That's how I feel right now. It's all so tiresome, man. You know? Can't let it spike your cortisol. That's where I'm at, you know? It's like, I'm like, dude, this is spiking my fucking cortisol. I don't like it. I am tired. I'm very tired. Like I said, I was traveling yesterday. Didn't get a lot of sleep. So I'm very tired. And honestly, today, talk a little bit about the news, but I kind of just want to hang out, to be honest. Kind of just want to hang out. Yeah. Kind of just want to hang out. It's just like, you know, you see shit like this. It's just like, is this a... You know, you can't even necessarily call all this rage bait because it's true, you know? Wait, map reveals 14.8. Is it 14.88% of US population foreign-born, highest since 1910? Yeah, except in 1910 they were all from Europe. Yeah, this is just like... It's just all so... it's just all so tiresome, man. How you doing, Smelly? How are you doing? I've been playing a lot of Marathon. Playing a lot of Marathon with the homies. Great game. Great game. If you have friends. If you have 2 people to play with, I'm loving it. I don't think I would ever really play it solo for 2 reasons. One, you do squad fill, you know, you're just gonna get all kinds of retards and degenerates filling. I mean, it's a total gamble. 2, if you play solo queue, it's just a different game. It's like a horror game, you know. It's much slower. But so I really enjoyed just the trios. It's been a lot of fun. Honestly, the game is super slept on. I wonder how many players does it have right now? Oh, it's not even on here. It seems to have stabilized around like 60K. Yeah, not really in like, which is okay, but I know Sony and Bungie, but especially Sony, really were expecting much higher numbers, so that might not bode well. Anyway. More missile strikes. Pentagon tells Congress first week of the Iran war cost the US $11.3 billion. Oh, that's great. $11 billion, huh? How much would the border wall have cost? Like 18 billion? Shit, man. Actually, you know what? I wonder if I like Cappy Army updates. He's pretty good. He's got some pretty decent analysis. But it doesn't seem like he's done an update on it. Hmm. Yeah. I'm sure you guys have probably heard about what was it, that Thai anchor that got hit?
Tensions between the U.S. and Iran are now raising concerns about the global oil supply as President Trump is urging shipping companies to keep moving oil through the Strait of Hormuz. You're looking at images of an oil tanker caught on fire in the strait after being struck by an Iranian projectile. These attacks are threatening the key route that carries about 1/5 of the world's oil supply. Some shipping companies have warned vessels to avoid the area, but the president says tankers should continue using the passage. U.S. officials also say Iran may be preparing to deploy sea mines, while the Pentagon released videos showing strikes on Iranian vessels believed to be capable of laying them.
These are the kinds of moments that these reserves are used for, because what we have here is not a shortage of energy in the world. We've got a transit problem, which is temporary.
Meanwhile, the disruption is
Yeah, we are
already
a
being
net
felt at the
exporter.
pump, with the national average gas price up several
Speaking
cents
of
this
which,
week and more than 60 cents higher than a month ago.
I'm sure you might have also heard of this this new oil refinery. First one, I think, in 40 or 50 years that they're building in Texas. That Trump has struck a deal with some Indian company. They're investing and presumably footing the bill for this oil refinery. Just great, man. America first. Here's an Indian owned and Indian run oil refinery here on American soil. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Now, obviously, you might say, well, you know, how many Americans are they going to hire? Probably not many, if I had to guess. But regardless, even if every worker there was American, I look at India as a hostile country to America. It has a parasitic relationship with America. So I don't think it's a good idea to intertwine our economy with theirs. I don't think we should allow more investment from India into our country, especially for something like oil. But honestly, you know, aside from that, it's just been kind of just more of the same, man. Nothing has really changed. The war just rages on. You know, it's far from the first strike in the Strait of Hormuz. Probably not going to be the last. And like that is like pretty duplicitous from Trump to say, to encourage people, these you know, these ship captains to sail through the strait knowing it's still an active war zone. Like, dude, you're gonna get people fucking killed. Like, that's just wrong, straight up. I know, you know, obviously he wants to keep the economy flowing. He wants the oil to keep moving through the strait. But literally, man, it's gonna cost people their lives. You doing good? You just see one of your homies at AutoZone and just caught up with him for a bit. That's pretty cool. The AutoZone. Yeah. Ooh. And more rocket attacks. And apparently Hezbollah is just pounding the shit out of the Israeli ground troops. I know of at least 2 tanks that got hit a couple days ago. Maybe more now. The thing is, with a lot of Israeli casualties, it's they deliberately not only refrain from reporting their casualties, but it's actually illegal for like civilians to even record the damage done by these rocket attacks. So they're trying their best to win this optics war. But my understanding is that their advance in southern Lebanon not going so hot. And that's typically how it's gone. Whenever they try to put ground troops in southern Lebanon, Hezbollah just pounds the shit out of them, and they take a lot of heavy casualties. Sorry, I'm really struggling today. In case you couldn't tell, I'm so exhausted that I said I would be here. Literally, like rough. They can't report anything kind of based. Yeah, well. Yep. Yeah, it's illegal. But other than that, it's just They are increasingly going after infrastructure. That's just, we're at that rung of the escalation ladder where the military targets have been hit. Now they're moving on to infrastructure. Both sides are doing this. They want to inflict economic damage as well as military damage, which they've already done. And again, it's just more of the same. Like, we already laid out how this is going to play out, and we're just watching it play out. It is a race against time. Can the Americans and the Israelis force the Iranians to capitulate? Because the longer this war goes on, the worse it'll be for us. As we run out of interceptors, which we've already been forced to prioritize which targets we're going to protect, meaning more Iranian rockets are going through. As this war goes on, it will become more costly for us. The Iranians, they're fighting for their homeland. For America, we're fighting for Israel's homeland. So public sentiment is shaky at best for this war. The support of the war is not really there. And look, there are conflicting polls on how MAGA feels about the war, because one poll is like 98%. It's like, okay, are we serious right now? And other polls put it at 60, 50 maybe. I saw another. I'm not quite sure. I know like 98% is cooked. Dude, like, not even Kim Jong-un has that level of approval. And I do wonder how many people even identify as MAGA anymore. I know I've left that ship a long time ago. But it is just, yeah, I don't know. Disappointing to say the least. You had to turn off notifications. Telegram was too overwhelming for TBH. Yeah, it is not. it just feels, like I said this last stream, dude, it just feels like we're in the end game now. It just feels like, we're at the Battle of Hoover Dam. It's like, are you sure you wish to proceed? You can't go back and finish your side quests. And Trump just said, yes, let's proceed. You won't be able to return to the open world after you begin this mission. Trump pressed F5, quick save. All right, we're doing it. That's what it feels like. We're in the end game now. Kind of scary. It's been a lot. It's been a lot to really digest, and it's really surreal. Yeah, to be honest, like, again, part of me doesn't even want to cover this anymore because it is just, it's really heavy stuff. And I'm serious when I say I don't think people have yet, they have yet to fully understand the gravity of the situation. People have no idea how bad this really is. And that's like, not to vague post, but I'll just plainly say it. It's like, this is causing remove ourselves from the equation for a second. This is causing major instability in the world. You can't just shut off like a fifth of the world's oil supply and expect things to go smoothly. I mean, that's an incredible amount. Imagine if your country lost, like, like, for example, let's say China, 15% of their oil comes through the Strait of Hormuz. Imagine if you just lost 15% of your oil supply. That's huge. We're talking hundreds of billions of dollars. And not just from the oil itself, but we're talking downstream. Because that's part of your logistics train. You need energy. You need oil for, plastics, so much. And if your energy now, if the supply just gets cut by 15%, I mean, think about how more expensive everything now becomes. And that's China. I mean, so if you're one of these other countries, now you need to think about how you're going to secure energy, how you're going to secure these resources. And maybe you're looking at your neighbor over here, like, got a little bit of oil over there. And you're watching as along these fault lines where tensions have already existed, conflict is breaking out, whether we're talking like French Guiana in South America or West Africa, or like, Central Africa, like Central North Africa, in Sudan, obviously the Middle East, obviously Ukraine, Myanmar. And it's like, so this is a global war. I mean, you ignore the big players. You're all along these fault lines, the smaller players conflict is brewing. We've already seen, last year Pakistan and India had a flare up. That will likely get worse, especially as Pakistan likely finds themselves in much more of a vulnerable position, especially with the rise of India. I hate to say it, but it's true. As they're, we're essentially handing them hegemony over South China, or South Asia, which is just disgusting to see happen. But I digress. Point is, it's like a lot of people are gonna die, and it's happening now, and things are shaking up, and this always happens whenever there is this major change in power. When war breaks out between the existing hegemon and a challenging one, or if one, hegemon recedes in power, whenever there's a power vacuum. So just from that perspective alone, it's like, even if we ignore ourselves for a second, which we obviously talk about and care about the most. This is a global war. This has a massive ripple effect. I'm sorry, I'm really struggling today. I'm exhausted for people who weren't here earlier. I traveling yesterday. Did not get a lot of sleep. Why I didn't do a stream on Monday? What do I have in this cup? That's weird. Because I had to super early. I had to get up early for a flight. So covering a little bit. Anyway, let me catch you up here. First the worst, second the best, third go with the hairy chest, fourth the golden eagle. You're the golden eagle. What's up, MGO? Hola, El Jefe and Internet Amigos. What's up? What's up, Hippo? How's it going? Doing great. Times Times, how about you? Operation Epic Fail is almost over. Unfortunately, it's not. Well, fortunately, unfortunately, it's not over until Iran says it's over at this point. Trump is seriously looking for an exit strategy. Look, take that with a grain of salt. Take everything regarding some kind of semblance of a comprehensive or even cohesive plan from the Trump admin at this point. None of this shit was thought out at all. As you can see, this is a fucking disaster. So I don't know. I think they can only hope that the operation is almost over. What's up, SSB? How's it going? China is still getting their oil through the Strait. They may not need to touch their reserves. Yeah, well. Oh shit! I just dropped my. I don't know how much longer that's gonna last though. Especially with Iran mining the Strait. I just look. If you're a Chinese vessel, I think the risk is just too high. I mean, ignore either Iran or America or Israel allowing any vessel to go through the strait. I mean, just think about the enormous risk. And with the sinking of this ship, I know it's a Thai ship. It's like if you're like a captain of one of these ships, and I lost. I don't know how many ships have been hit at this point. But you're watching this ship right after Trump says, no, the strait is open. Are you going to take that risk? And if you're some kind of insurance broker, are you going to insure these ships going through the strait? And America says they're going to insure it. Okay, like if you're an American investor, like how does that... How do you balance that? It's just, it's what the hell is going on? Are we going to foot the bill for every ship that goes down? We're going to insure it? It's like, and so I'm asking these questions somewhat rhetorically because everyone's asking these questions. The investors are asking these questions. The ship captains are asking these questions. The oil refiners are asking these questions. Nobody has the answers. So there's great instability and uncertainty right now, and that's spooking a lot of the investment, certainly in the American economy, but around the world too. The Japanese economy is faltering. The South Korean economy is crashing as well. There was a run on BlackRock the other day. It's just unbelievable. China's losing 15% of its oil. Yeah, I mean, look, it doesn't take a political genius to, to figure out that, like, this is not a safe, and this is nowhere near a guarantee that China is going to secure their, their oil from Iran that they purchased for, like, what was it, $300 billion over, was it 10, 20 years, 25 years? Regardless, like, and if you're Xi Jinping, it's like you have to plan for contingencies. I would almost expect that oil is not going to, like, you have to figure out other more stable plan of action, source of oil. So you can't count on that oil making it through. Like, you'd be foolish to count on that oil making it through, given how things are going, how things are likely going to escalate. Like, we're hitting desalination plants, oil refineries, reserves. Why not then hit their tankers? Yeah, China won't be happy about it, but are they going to get involved? Maybe they will. And that's, again, why things are so tumultuous and how things can escalate just very quickly out of control. Because this is a global conflict. It doesn't just concern the three parties of Israel, America, and Iran. Companies that pull out ASAP. This is annoying. Yeah, it's a little more than, that's a bit of an understatement. I think it's a little more than annoying. China's supply through the Strait is relatively unchanged. Also, Pakistan. Like, I wouldn't count on that staying, remaining consistent. So many people are pissed off. Yeah, I would hope so. I would hope that they would be pissed off. Iran is allowing friends and family to go through. Again, it's like, look, it's not even just like, it might not even necessarily be deliberate. It's like you are traveling through an active war zone. It's like missiles are flying over your head. Cruise missiles are flying. It's very easy to just get caught in the crossfire, even if it's completely unintentional. And yeah, I just can't imagine. Yeah, it's just the cost of ensuring this oil is just so tremendously high. It just it will just be very costly, I'll say that, to get anything through that strait. I love Pakistan. I will Scarface my life for Pakistan. Mello keeps traveling because he's in a heated custody battle. Yeah. Yeah, damn you, Greta. Taking a little Tyrone from me. Imagine. JD Vance, future president, nowhere to be found. Yeah, what? Mr. JD, where have you been? Where's JD Vance been? Obvious answer, rhetorical question. Yeah, whenever it's a PR disaster, a PR nightmare for the Trump admin, he's nowhere to be found. Even though he was in favor of this. I know I'm preaching to the choir. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know. But, yeah, all we can hope for is that it just destroys his political career. Like, seriously. 2028 presidential debate between Gavin Newsom and JD Vance. What is JD Vance going to say? Gavin Newsom just... all he really has to say is you were in favor of the war. You were vice president. you're responsible for this, what is JD going to say? Oh, I was only vice president, or I disagree with how it was carried out. Does that sound like a strong position to anybody? Doesn't sound very convincing to me. And already, I think that's the stance they're taking, him and Rubio. You know, well, we don't agree with President Trump on how this was carried out. Like, they'll just gaslight everybody, shift the blame. Just, you know, and Trump's not going to do anything. He's a fucking punching bag. They'll put all the blame on Trump, gaslight everybody about their support. Hope people forget. Because right now it's a moot point. It doesn't really matter if they were in favor or if they weren't. Like, I mean, it does, but my point is, like, they're in it. We are in it now. We are in the war. It doesn't really matter what they say, because we're already involved. So now, conveniently, they can gaslight everybody and say, oh, I wasn't in favor of this, or we didn't do it the right way, because it doesn't change the outcome of the war. Like, we are in it. So you're already seeing the pivot, I think. Anyway. Speaker had to fly to Tel Aviv to kiss the wall so he can keep his channel. Yeah, my very lucrative channel that I make like $0 from. My very lucrative channel. Yeah. Yeah, I'm out there fucking flipping on Bibi Netanyahu's lights during Shabbat so I can keep my fucking YouTube channel. Yeah. China SPR can last 235 days. India is screwed. Europe prices through the roof, and Gulf is finished. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if India is necessarily finished. I think they'll be okay. Particularly because, you know, we're doing business deals with them. And like I said, I mean, and this is obviously not going to happen anytime soon, but they announced that new refinery. I mean, clearly India and America, not only are we economically entwined, but also now they're trying to deepen that more than just labor, and now get involved in the energy industry. So that's probably what they're banking, is that they'll just get their oil from America. And it's not something you can necessarily just do, you know, like I think people sort of underestimate just how much oil goes through the strait. It's a little tricky to just, like, you know, snap your fingers and you can make up for that lost oil here in America. But excuse me. But I think as of right now, India will be fine. So you found an alternative to Mexican Coke. Kosher Passover Coke is made from cane sugar. Ah, shalom. Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah, all the kosher products that you can find in your local, I don't even know, like, you know, Moishe's grocery store. Moishe's Matzah Market. Yeah. The Triple M market. Nobody's going through with or without insurance. Yeah, I just think it's just a fucking suicide mission. I think, and Trump can, you know, sort of, maybe he don't know. I don't even know what he knows or doesn't know, but I think, look, I think even he knows how much of a disaster it would be if this strait is closed. That's why he's trying to say, it's over. The strait is open, and then look at what happens when you believe him. This is what happens when you believe him. Okay, we'll go through. Trump says it's open. He's the leader of the free world, and your shit gets fucking hit. It's just the juice isn't worth the squeeze. So, assuming number of commercial ships are currently rerouting around the Cape of Good Hope, adding 15 to 30 days to a trip. Yeah, I mean that's expensive. Like, think about, that might not seem like a huge deal because you're still, trying to avoid that part of the world because you're still getting your stuff to where it needs to go, but that's expensive, and like there's a ripple effect because just based on how logistics work, it's like if you require things to make other things. So it's like, let's say some of that shipment is like raw materials that you would then use to make like parts, whatever, like steel milled parts, like brackets, for example. And some company uses those brackets to make like, I don't know, shelving, for example. Like, think about how that 15 to 30 day delay could fuck up the entire supply chain for all of these other products that rely on that good. And it's not as easy as just snapping your fingers and establishing a new logistics route, a new supplier or vendor, because, you source one thing for, like, not everything is as simple as just a drag and drop, especially if you're engineering around a part. A simple vendor change can like fuck up your whole product because there are different tolerances to that part, different specs, requirement. Like, it's just not one for one. Even between batches of like steel from a single supplier is going to vary in quality and, characteristics that you have to take into consideration if you're making anything. And manufacturing is more complicated than people think. So that's why, these supply lines are so important. You really want to take the shortest route possible because it's cheaper, because less operating costs, there's less risk involved as well. In many ways, there's less risk. A shorter voyage is typically safer. You don't have to go, around halfway around the world. But also, if something goes wrong in that voyage, it's like you don't. There's less of a sunk cost, because like, let's say it's a 10-day voyage and something goes wrong on day 8 versus like a 3-day voyage and something goes wrong on day 2. You know what I mean? So it's like there's less of a sunk cost if things do go wrong as well. So there's so many reasons, obvious reasons why you want these very stable and short supply routes. So yeah, 15 to 30 days, that's much more significant than people think. Maybe I shouldn't say it that way. That sounds kind of condescending, but maybe much more significant than it might initially seem. There's futures contracts marking down 150 per barrel in April. Yeah, dude, who knows, man? What did we peak at? Was it 120? 120 something, I think. What are we at now? So Brent crude 91, 92. That's still pretty high. We'll see where we are. I don't think it'll keep going up forever, though, because people make adjustments. Like, oh, I can't even spell. What did I do with that other? Ah, here we go. But then you have to source that oil from somewhere, and you can't easily make up for 20% of the world's oil supply elsewhere. Like, other companies, other places will ramp up their production, but that takes time. There's a delay, and it's like you cut off 20% of the world's oil. It's like, well, if you're a party involved, you're gonna have to ask yourself, well, am I gonna be able to get mine? Am I able to get my supply of oil? Can I even afford the price increase? To really put it simply. Oh, plus credit. Yeah, okay. Only course forward is massive false flag in the U.S. to get support for boots on the ground, or they'll nuke. No off ramp. Yeah, that's what we've been saying. It seems imminent. They have to escalate. If they capitulate, that is a diplomatic disaster. What kind of message does that send? Iran beat America. What does that say about our security guarantees? What does that say about our military might that we lost to a country that is what, about a quarter of our population, give or take, a fraction of our GDP, no navy. Their navy was destroyed, and they beat us. They outlast us. What does that say about our ability to project power? About how seriously people should take us? And then what would all of this been for exactly? What would all of this have been for? We just pissed off the fucking world, and then we say, okay, our bad. So we would look like absolute jackasses, and that would be terrible. That would be a disaster for our country, for our empire. So that is like that as far as our government is concerned, as far as Trump's cabinet is concerned, that's like, that cannot happen. That absolutely cannot happen. So if Iran's allies are the only ones getting through Hormuz, changes the power dynamic in the Pacific. How long before U.S. allies switch sides? Yeah, that's a big question. So again, then it's like and they're wargaming this out. That's why I said, like, you can't rule out America just not allowing these Iranian ships to go through the Hormuz that are trading, not Iranian per se, but these other ships from other countries, not even just with the Iranian oil, but it'll just go back and forth. If we stop those ships because we don't want, like, we're trying to economically hurt Iran and Iran's allies like China. So let's say we prevent Iranian allied ships. I know this is not eloquent. Just bear with me. From going through the strait. Well, Iran will just do the same thing, and they'll start targeting, UAE ships, or ships trading with the UAE, and it'll just close because things are escalating, and then we go tit for tat. That's why it's absolutely not a guarantee that ships are going to go through this strait whatsoever, given the way things are probably going to escalate, but the way things are escalating. It's just kind of the next logical step. We're waging economic war with Iran. They're waging it with us. You have these ships that are sitting ducks, carrying a tremendous amount of money, of value, of power. So it's kind of the obvious target in the region. Side ship got hit trying to go through. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. You got into an argument with the Milady guy? Oh, dude. I don't believe that they did tricks on it for Vance, but they really do. I didn't believe that they did tricks on it for Vance, but they really do. He kept saying he had the truth about Vance and wanted to send me it. TVH kept spelling "my lady" to piss him off. I also said the only cool one is Perma. True, yeah, the only cool one is Perma. That whole thing is just weird, man. And like Clavicular just totally exposed all those people for just being like weird freaks. Whatever, man. They're, Teal's little crypto pet project. Yeah. The situation is pandemic 2.0. Dude, it's worse in the pandemic because of the ramifications. Or at least that's the, as of right now, it seems like this is just going to be worse. The pandemic shut down the world economy, but like it didn't, it's like, it was like in stasis. This is like ripping it apart, Like putting everything to a halt, grinding like the world economy to a halt because of the pandemic was obviously not good. And you had the largest wealth transfer in history, but this is I think worse. At least I'll say this, it has the potential to be worse. Um, given that it's a war, it's an open conflict. Um, that has dire consequences. Both launched during Lent. Was it during? No. The pandemic? Was it during Lent? Was it? Was it late January? Technically? I mean, the rumor of the virus was, December. I remember that. Like, but the actual shutdown, was that during? I can't remember. Anyway. Inventory is at 88. Oops, it's worse, 93.65. How does the U.S. stop Chinese ships without starting a war with China? Just tell them that they can't go through. Active war zone. you know? I mean, that's how things escalate. Obviously, it's a risk. It's a gamble. But in many ways, like, China is one of Iran's lifelines. So, the global economy crashing because this war isn't a bug, it's a feature. Uh, I mean, look, I don't think they want the economy to crash. Like, I don't think this was like Great Reset, pandemic, whatever. You know, I think that people knew this would happen and they would capitalize on it. But I actually don't think like the investors in like New York are particularly thrilled about this. I mean, there was a run on BlackRock. It's like I I don't like. I think the vast majority of like the global elite are not happy with this conflict. I should say, like in terms of the investment, how tumultuous this is. Um, there's no telling exactly how bad this could really get and what that could do. How does BlackRock benefit from like the fall of the American hegemon? Like how exactly do they benefit? So I don't think it's like something that they necessarily wanted to happen, like crash the global economy. I don't think that is I don't think that's likely. I think it's something they. Who is even they when you really think about it? Um, I think there were some key players that wanted this to happen, the war that is, for obvious. I shouldn't say that. It's probably not obvious to some people, but Israel wanted this war. Netanyahu wanted this war. Trump is controlled in some way ideologically or maybe through blackmail. Who knows? And they were willing to do this to the rest of the world, to America, to achieve their geostrategic goals. So, sort of like, the pandemic, part of it was to try and curb China, but also to stop the election. I don't think it was like necessarily like Great Reset territory. I think that's something that they just capitalized on, and through the shutting down of the economy and only the big businesses could operate. You saw one of the greatest wealth transfers in history. You had a lot of the middle class got laid off, lost their job opportunities. Small business owners had to shut down, but the large companies could stay open. You had like something like, what was it, 200 or 2,000 new billionaires were made in 2020. 2020 was like the worst year of some people's lives by far. That's just how like the game's just rigged like that. The game is just rigged. It's the same thing with like the 2008 housing crisis. It's like, how many people went to jail for that? Too big to fail. So these these investment firms that were responsible for the housing crash by bundling all of these. What's the correct terminology? It's not fresh in my memory. All these subprime loans with more stable loan or investments that were backed by the government. And so when that blew up, how many people went to jail? And then just look at how much money, actually. I don't remember. It's not fresh in my memory. I'm talking to my dad about this. But how much money did the government bail out these firms? So they did criminal behavior. They invested the people's money in these bullshit loans. It crashed. So they raked in all of the revenue, all of the profit from that was privatized. But as soon as it blew up and their firms faced bankruptcy, well, all of a sudden the government comes in and essentially subsidizes their losses. Privatized gains, but subsidized losses. That's just how it is. That's how the game is played. It's rigged. Yeah. The people wanted mass deportations, no war, a border wall. And we got none of the things we wanted and all the things we didn't want. We're getting more visas, more immigration. We're getting more war. That's not in our interests. And it's because the donor class wanted it. Anyway, I'm just ranting now. Hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button, by the way. Sorry, in case you just got here, I am exhausted. I've had a very long 24 hours. I'm pretty sleep deprived. But couldn't leave you hanging 2 days in a row. Or, not in a row, Monday and Wednesday. But yeah, I just wanted to hang out, honestly, because just sort of get my thoughts. I didn't have anything prepared. Yes, in March. Yeah, I guess yeah. Wow. 6 years ago. Time flies. You see the Richard Medhurst video on US radars? No. What was that about? You take college classes and they were all stopped here in Cupertino. And was it 19th? Huh. Maybe my college just called it sooner. 'Cause I feel like I went home, like my college sent everybody home earlier than March. That might be it. That might be why I'm misremembering it. You see mid-March closures, extendo spring break. Shit. Speak, laugh at your punch comment. Wait, what? To make a punch comment? China made a deal. Their aircraft isn't harassing Taiwan and their oil from Iran seems untouched. Yeah, I mean, but also the question is like, could they even take? I don't even think they're necessarily prepared to take Taiwan right now. With all the turmoil in their military. I could be wrong. I don't see the punch joke. Oh, the cute punch baby. That's crazy. 2 weeks to flatten the curve started in March 16th. Catholics were cut off from the sacraments during the Holy Week. They made SSPX more popular since they stayed open. Yeah, I think I was sent home before that. I'm going to use the name Luigi when referring to Mello's father. That's your favorite video game character. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, look, because even if there is a deal with China to allow their tankers through, it's like, okay, who's gonna foot the bill, the insurance bill, if it doesn't make it through? You know, if something goes wrong, if it hits a mine, if a missile hits it, whatever. So effectively, the cost of just sending shit through the strait is like is like the real reason why it's closed. And go back to the news. I just feel like we're on a loop here. I don't know, like we're just watching this play out. Like none of what we've really talked about is like we're just literally watching it play out. You know, what Nick has been talking about, we're just watching it unfold. You know, there in a certain sense, there's like none of this, as shocking as it is, it's like not surprising. It's like more of the horrific same. What the fuck is this? What is this headline? What is this title? Iran's sleeper agents hit New York City as Mamdani launches regime counteroffensive. This sounds like fucking slop. I'll take the bait. Fuck it. We'll take the bait.
As the conflict in Iran continues,
Oh wait, this guy.
Very frightening things are starting to happen on the streets of New York.
Identified as Amir Balat, an 18-year-old man, lit and threw an ignited device toward the protest area, landing in the crosswalk of East 87th Street and East End Avenue.
Thank God they caught these guys.
Witnesses
he's talking about this guy, I
seeing
remember.
flames and smoke as it traveled through the air before it struck a barrier and extinguished itself a few feet from police officers.
This
Mr.
is so
Balat
crazy.
then ran
Trying to cheer up Mello. I'm just exhausted, dude. Sorry. I know. I'm really, like I said, I'm just so fucking tired. My brain don't work too good today. I was having a good time. Honestly, like over the weekend, I was just playing a ton of Marathon with my friends, trying to not let this shit get me down too much,
southbound
because it is just exhausting.
on East End Avenue toward 86th Street.
They tried to get away.
And gets a second device from a man tentatively ID'd as Ibrahim Nick, 19 years old.
And while this recent attack happened at a protest in front of the mayor's mansion, which was pre-planned and was not directly related to the conflict in Iran at all, you've got to understand there have been anti-Iran protests for the last several weeks. And recently we've seen this whole spate of pro-regime activity here leading up to what transpired here. And some people think they know what might have triggered that.
That's why you don't have open borders. Oh, dude. Oh, cooked. You were cooked. Boomer cooked. I remember seeing the Twin Towers fall 25 years ago. Now we're seeing New York fall in the same way. Yeah, man. Totally the same. Those damn Muslims are grr. What do you expect from like a bunch of like 80 IQ like Middle Eastern Muslims that you import into your country? I'm still against the war, but you know, I'm still against the war. You are not gonna, you're not gonna get me hate some fucking some like radical retarded Muslim that committed some terrorist attack. You're not gonna get me to hate them more than what's currently going on, than what's currently like this administration is doing to us. And of course, the people responsible for all that. Anyway, Nick took heavy damage from last night's super chatters. I think I fell asleep during the super chat sim. I was like half awake. Anyway. Yeah, what's going on with Hezbollah? Habibi, Habibi. Yeah, 100 rockets. Heard that number. Alhamdulillah. Oh, that looks pretty cool. TBH. Yabba dabba. Yabba dabba dooba doo. Yabba gabba gooba goo. Dooby dooboo. Damn. That's crazy.
يا ساتر
What the fuck is that chime? What the hell is that? Somebody getting donos? What the hell? Brilliant Hollyhand told me we were winning the war. He's on the front lines right now. Brilliant Hollyhand, if you can hear us, please use your Omega Mind Ray to obliterate Netanyahu. And that's on Groiper. And remember how people were saying that the Goy beams weren't real? Our directed energy weapons are literally, like, was that bait when who said when Nick was saying that dudes weren't real? Like, they're just lasers, unless it's in reference to something else. But I don't know. I got a alhamdulillah. Mellows pretending not to know the okay. Okay, what? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's wild. That's a devious thought you've had. Crazy. Ah. 6 new updates. Rockets. Missile breeze fell in central Israel. Sirens have ended in all regions of Israel. Huh. Over. Oops. Can I get a alhamdulillah? That explains why. That's crazy. Ugh. Traveling. Okay. 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 What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we conversing right now? We have to laugh since I don't see how we got this far. Yeah, we're kind of fucked, you know? Hey, but at least we've got memes. All right, yeah, woo! We got memes, and we have Crimson Desert in 8 days. So please, please, Donald Trump, if you can hear me, please don't start a nuclear war before I get a chance to play Crimson Desert. Please. That's my solace. Please don't end the world before GTA 6. Please. Imagine we all die before we get to play GTA 6. Just. That's worse than the Holocaust. I mean, that's. Never mind. Worst. Whatever. Anyway. Oh yeah, the THAADs. You see how like they're pissed off, dude. The South Koreans are pissed off that America just pulled all their THAAD interceptors, all 6 plus the radar. Dude, Rocket Man, if you can hear us, you could do the funniest thing right now. Rocket Man, Kim Jong-un, you could do the funniest thing right now. Plot twist: there never was GTA 6. Why would you say such a thing? Why, you want me to blackpill? It was all an illusion? Don't even joke about that. Did I ever tell you the story on why my local Arby's closed down because the dark parking lot turned into a Grindr meet and greet? They have the meats, huh? They weren't lying. Rule 1, we have to have fun. True. Rule number 1, always abide by rule number 1. It's all about having fun. Kai Schwimmer is the king of the college Republicans. I saw that going on, and I am kind of surprised that not. I'm a little surprised considering like there's been no, doubt that he's affiliated with Nick. You do 20 seconds of research, you could find. I'm surprised. It's a good thing. I'm happy. I'm pleasantly surprised that he got that position. But I imagine there's going to be some kvetching when people catch on. How could you let this vicious anti-Semite be the college Republican? Don't you know my grandfather died in the Holly? By supporting Kai Schwimmer is like supporting the death of my grandfather. You want to put me in an oven? You sick Nazi. How could you say that? How could you want to kill me and put me in an oven? You're sick and disgusting. That's what you do when you support Kai Schwimmer, the Nazi. Because he supports Nick Fuentes, the Nazi. Oh, man. You can already see it. It's the same. It's just predictable, man. It's like the same thing. But again, I'm surprised that one kind of slipped through. Oh, not one laugh. What are we talking about here? One laugh. We do a little kvetching. Joel Berry already tried and failed. Yeah, nobody cares, dude. Nobody cares about anti-Semitism. Actually. Yeah, the people are getting really pissed off with what the Jews are doing, dude. Like, it's like, people are like, your average person is like sitting there and they're like, I'm putting 2 and 2 together and I've decided you're pissing me off. That's what they're saying to these Jews. It's just like, so it's funny that people are figuring out what goy and goyim mean. That was like word of the month like 2 or 3 months ago. Goyim, that was trending and shit. And my normie friends saying, we're a bunch of goyims. I'm like, your head's in the right place, a little confused, but Starting to get it. Yeah.
경북 성주 기지에 있는 주한미군 사드의 발사대가 지난 3일 반출된 걸로 확인됐습니다. 저희가 확보한 영상을 보면 발사대 6대 전체가 기지 밖으로 나갔습니다.
Can I ask a really, maybe this is a dumb question, and I already have a hypothesis, but can somebody tell me why you need a sign language interpreter when you have text to speech? You have subtitles. Why do you need some jagoff in the corner fucking, you know, casting spells jutsu style, you know? He's fucking doing his best Naruto impression when we have subtitles. It's like, okay, so you tell me, oh, what if people can't read it? What if they're dyslexic? So they understand like this, but they don't understand like how to spell car? This is like so just, this is just 100% virtue signaling, because this is just so obsolete in this day and age. This is just like, hey, look, we haven't forgotten about the disabled. Shut the fuck up, you know? Shut up. The disabled can read, you fuck. If you can see, you can read. And if you can't read, what are the odds you can interpret hand signals? That's like there's like 5 people in the world that are both deaf and also dyslexic. But then, like, if you're dyslexic, how does that translate to hand signals? I imagine you probably also struggle with hand signals. But whatever. May recall its ambassador to Israel. It's another Holly. Yeah, I did see that. I saw that too. Oy vey. Oy vey. How could you not stand with Israel? He doesn't even know sign language. It's a paycheck. Leave bro alone. It's interpretive dance, okay? You wouldn't get it. Don't dump on the sign language interpreter. It was either this job or OnlyFans. He's got to do something with his hands.
미국에선 주한미군 사드의 일부가 중동으로 이동 중이라는 보도가 나왔습니다. 김태훈 국방전문 기자가 단독 취재했습니다. 경북 성주 기지에 있는 주한미군 사드의 발사대가 지난 3일 반출.
Crazy. Yeah. It's literally costing us our relationship with all of our allies. We spent the better part of a century developing these relationships with these countries, and we're pissing it all down the fucking drain for this war for Israel, one way or another. Whether it's through like a tertiary consequence of like, you know, the economy, or because we're pulling our resources away from those countries. Ugh. One night stand. When's Nick going live? I wonder what he's going to talk about today. Hopefully he's more inspired than I am. Hopefully he's doing better than I'm doing today. I feel a little under the weather too. Let me see if there are any updates real quick. Let me put my synthwave music back on. Oh shit, whoops. Oh, what the hell? Okay, yeah. China. Heck, man. What's going on with China? China number one. Wabuja Dao. AJ wants to come on Nick's show, but Nick said he doesn't have a big studio. Was that a fat joke? Damn. He really did unk dirty, huh? He really did unk dirty on that one. Hey, he's lost a lot of weight. Okay? You know, the methylene blue is doing wonders. The turmeric 95. The Turbo Force Ultra. He's a fucking powerhouse, man. Dude, I wish I had like a quarter of the energy Alex Jones has. It's just insane to me how we can fucking like roar every show. He's just like, yeah, like, whoa, dude. I aspire to have that kind of energy. I just like want to sleep, you know. It's the German in him, I guess. Me, I'm just a lazy Italian, I suppose. A little more laid back. I have a little Austrian in me, though. Super male vitality. That's the tribulus in the ashwagandha. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, but I'm kind of cool with just hanging out right now. Like I said, I didn't really have anything in particular planned today because I'm fucking hooked right now. You're a lazy German, though? Oi. Jawohl. South Germans are laid back. Damn. Erica, I can only wonder why this is trending. Oh yeah, I saw this. What the fuck does Erica Kirk know about US Air Force leadership? Yeah, what the fuck does Lady Gaga know about cameras? Like, seriously. What? What are we talking about right now? What are we doing? What are we doing? She was starring in like music videos for like degenerate wigger rappers and shit or whatever. I don't even remember. What was it? Rappers or what was it? Country music? Either way. With their tramp stamp, it's like, what the fuck do you know about Air Force leadership? Maybe you should get somebody that like has a very long and storied career, successful career in the Air Force, leading. What are we doing? Not even funny. It's a little funny. Right when Coalition did his face reveal and turns out he's a total chat. Wait, what? Right wing coalition. I don't even know what that is. The right wing Oh, was it coalition? Am I reading that correctly? I don't even know who that is. What does it say? It's too small? Oh, is it too small? Damn, I gotta zoom in for Unk. His your eyes aren't too good anymore. President Trump has appointed Erica Kirk to the U.S. Air Force leadership. Erica Kirk will help advise the Air Force on issues affecting the Academy. Okay. What does Pete Hegseth know about World Wars? Oh, fuck. Shit. Speaking of which, let's check in on our girl. Let's check in on our girl, shall we? As if my brain wasn't doing enough. Okay. Well. Yeah, Erica Kirk was involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Along with like half of our elite. I close my eyes. You know how like you ever get in this like you're tired or whatever, or you're maybe a little dizzy, and you close your eyes. I just feel like I'm like swirling down like a toilet bowl or something. You ever get that sensation? That's how I feel right now. That's what's going on up here in the noggin. Trump just picks celebrities. It's like, dude, like. Yeah, the liquor queen herself. Let's do it to ourselves.
All right, you guys. Well, I can tell you that this young lady is my whole mood today.
I'm just telling you right now, if Erica Kirk is ever on a ticket, I am not voting for Erica Kirk. I will vote for anybody else. I will vote for somebody foreign before I vote for Erica Kirk.
I'll vote for somebody's pet fish before I vote for Erica Kirk. I am done. I have seen enough. I can no longer bear people defending Erica Kirk in any way, any shape, any form. It has to end. It has to stop. Okay? It has to stop right now. Because we received some follow-up information regarding Erica's time in New York, confusing time in New York, specifically more details pertaining to what the hell Erica was doing, parked at a modeling agency that was frequented by Jeffrey Epstein. And you know what? This information feels pretty explosive. I would say it requires a response. We can't keep pretending that this is just some godly woman who's just being attacked by the internet. Erica's past is checkered. It's very checkered. Her mother, her acquaintances, everything about this girl should be sending off alarm bells, especially for the people that keep defending her. Look at the people that keep defending her. They themselves are the biggest red flag. Let's jump right back in.
You know what? It is like Candace is just in a different realm now. And I don't mean that the way you probably think I do. I mean, like, she's literally talking about stuff that is, like, really not what we give a shit about. Like, not really our, I'm drawing a blank. It's outside the scope of what we talk about, what we're interested in. Like, this is all, like, tabloid, like, low-tier political drama. It's like, honestly, I don't even think she has the same audience anymore. Like, how many of the people that started listening to Candace when she was talking about, even before she like went off the rails on, I shouldn't say off the rails, but when she started criticizing Israel, sorry, I have that backwards. After she started criticizing Israel and went off on all these other conspiracy theories, how many people are still from that era, like what was that 2013 era when she was beefing with Ben Shapiro, criticizing Israel, whatever, and then got into fucking like quantum mechanics and like teleportation technology and flat earth. Like, how many people from that saga are still watching her show? That got in from the Israel stuff. Maybe they stuck it through the conspiracy tard shit. And now they're enduring this like tabloid. What even is this? This journalism, this very public beef with Erica Kirk. I don't even feel like Nick and Candace are competing for the same audience anymore. Like, seriously. Like, obviously, Candace's audience is much more You know, a lot more women watch Candace than Nick. What does her mug say? Does that say feminist? Something feminist? Doesn't even know what a feminist is. Doesn't even know what feminism is. Erica was a model, ergo she killed Charlie. Yeah, it was arranged marriage. A political marriage for power and influence. Therefore, she was the one responsible for Charlie Kirk's neck getting shot. Yeah. Like, how do you get from point A to point Q? I am kind of stunlocked, but it's like not even like, it's like not, well, like she's like kind of just dissociated from a lot of the topics we're talking about, you know? She's just in a different discussion, just different, like just a totally different niche. Like whatever, I guess. It's all housewives and gay 30-year-olds who watch her now. Ugh. Danny was bullied by white girls in high school. It's just revenge. Kid his time. Yeah. Oh, fuck, dude.
Welcome back to Candace.
I like how it's just Candace.
You know, our new rule here is if you see something, say something.
I will say, I'm not a huge fan of, like, you know, lazy names for shows. Like, The Andrew Klavan Show. Oh, wow. That's a good one, yeah. That's a good hook. Because people... I just find that so lazy. The Blank Show, the My Name Here Show. I don't know.
We open up investigations to the world because it tends to be that you get a lot of information when you do that. It really...
Neither Fuentes or Candace have given their takes on the palm pistol guy. No, Nick doesn't believe in that theory. He has given his take. I've given my take. I think it's pretty ridiculous. Look, if somebody was shooting a gun in the crowd with like a palm pistol like that, people would notice. It's kind of hard to shoot a gun next to somebody and not have, you know, people recoil and look at the guy that just shot a gun next to them. You would also smell it. You would smell the gunpowder as well. So I don't think the palm pistol theory carries any weight. I mean, Candace was throwing everything at the wall when Charlie Kirk got shot. She was talking about the trapdoor theory. Like, oh, everyone was looking up, but were they looking down? It's like you can hear the gunshot in the video. You can see how everybody reacted. They turned to look where the gunshot came from. You know, it's like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? So,
really is incredible. And as soon as we opened the door to the plausibility that Erica and Jeffrey Epstein may have come across each other, certainly plausible, they seem to be just swimming around each other, more people began talking and remembering some things. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying that we did not go out to Erica for comment regarding today's episode because it makes very little sense if someone...
I like the exploding microphone. I like the theory where Charlie Kirk's neck just did that. That's my favorite theory. I think that's the most plausible. That's my hot take. Charlie Kirk wasn't shot by anybody. His neck just did that. You guys think about that one?
One ignores your first email question to think that they're going to be willing to answer a related follow-up question. Let's get back into this. Next, model management. It was co-founded by Faith Cates. We told you this yesterday, a dear friend to Jeffrey Epstein, all over the emails, 4,000 plus times. Her offices had a ton of Eastern European models that were going through it. She's actually known for having made the careers of various Eastern European models. And like I told you guys, Jeffrey Epstein was around this office a lot. He frequented the office as you would if it was your friends. All of this is a fact. Now, another interesting fact is that Faith Cates, she actually knew Epstein since before she co-founded Next because she was actually the vice president of the women's division over at Wilhelmina Models first. Wilhelmina Models was co-founded by Fran Rothschild, okay? Frances Rothschild is her name. Now, why is that interesting? Because you will recall in Jeffrey Epstein's recently released emails that he said to Peter Thiel that he works directly for the Rothschilds family. He's spreading around their money. I will show you that email here so that we can confirm it.
My eyes.
Is Jeffrey to Peter. He says, as you probably know, I represent the Rothschilds. I was hoping to figure out a way for the bank that has $160 billion in management to do something in tech. Best client list in the world, prehistoric products, it can wait. Okay, just asserting that as a fact here. All right. Now, what is also a fact is that the Rothschilds credit themselves with creating the modern state of Israel. Zionism was therefore their platitude. Zionists were also the people that were squeezing Charlie Kirk at the end of his life, morally blackmailing Charlie Kirk, stressing out Charlie Kirk, pulling money away from Charlie Kirk and the organization. Charlie himself said that he was done with the pro-Israel cause. But then he was murdered. Though. And his wife did a complete 180 like LBJ, inviting Frank.
She was literally doing tricks on it till the day he died. The lack of funding really was because it was no longer an election year. So naturally, I mean, just think about it. The funding goes up whenever there's a big election. Whenever there's a presidential election, the election passed, and okay, no reason to pour money to TPUSA, at least not as much. That's where the big disagreement came from. This, like, revisionism is just totally ridiculous. Like, I just feel like I'm saying the same thing for the 1,000th time, but it's like, you know, when it comes to Candace, it's like everything is contorting to fit her vision of events, you know? She is bending everything to fit her narrative, not piecing the narrative together through these events. She instead of bending her narrative to fit reality with what happened, these events, she's bending the events themselves, rewriting them, gaslighting people, really stretching the truth as best she can. And you see a lot of people who are big into these conspiracy theories and whatnot, that I think are intellectually lazy. They do this. Why is this theory true? It's what they don't want you to know. Why is there no evidence for it? This theory being true, it's because they cover it up, obviously. Okay. All right. Convenient. Anyway.
Deranged Zionists into the fold immediately. Ben Shapiro, who was in fact an enemy to her husband, effectively opened AmFest. She came out first, and then Ben Shapiro came out second. He was also allowed onto Charlie Kirk's show and appeared in person rather in his studio. Very odd. I want you to park that into your mind. She never came out and said anything about Josh Hammer lying when he said that Charlie never blinked on Israel. She never said anything at all about what Charlie was going through. Never said, oh, that donor took money away from him. I'm so angry about that. Not once. Actually, you could argue she did the opposite. She was setting up interviews with the likes of Barry Weiss, pushing Charlie's final book, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Okay, we got it. Now, what is also a fact is that some of the employees and some of the people who were associated parties with Next Models remember Erica Franzwey at the office taking meetings. Weird, because Erica Kirk, despite her very illustrious, multi-hyphenated career, she's actually never made the claim to have worked for a modeling agency. So what was she doing? That was a question we went out.
Not the first time I've asked this. I'm not the only one that's asked this. But what is the point of this? What is the objective of this? To get to the bottom of what exactly? That Erica Kirk was a ruthless political operative? I mean, duh. That's like, there's a lot of people like Erica Kirk in conservative politics. It's like, you'd be hard pressed to find people that are not like Erica Kirk in these spaces, to be honest. So it seems like the point is just to continue this on ad infinitum. The point is to just there is no, the point is itself, really. The point of the diatribe is to have the diatribe itself, to have this expose, this series in and of itself. I know that's not like a hot take or anything, but here we are. It's March, and it's just, there's no signs of stopping. I don't know, man. She said she wants to be the next Oprah. China. Why do you keep posting China? She needs to gain 90 pounds. Oh, you like I'm big, Smelly. You like I'm big. I mean, she just gets crazy viewership, dude. 750,000 in 5 hours. Like, look at this shit. Wait, Operation Epstein Fury? Don't tell me she's gonna say that the Iran war was a distraction.
All right, you guys. In today's episode of Everybody Grieves Differently, and by the way, I should say we are in like season 17, episode 4. You know, the writers are running out of ideas and they're just putting up things that don't even make sense anymore. Yeah, well.
Ah, yes. It's all a show.
On today's episode, President Trump has appointed Erica Kirk to the Air Force Academy's Board of Visitors.
Fat women offend me. All fat women are sex offenders. Because I see them and I'm sexually offended. She will crush George Farmer. What's your favorite Japanese dish? Sushi.
Visitors. Now, if you would like to know how that further empowers this world-renowned widow who is definitely grieving, I will explain that to you. Is she qualified? Of course not. Not even.
Was that like 5'6", 110?
A little bit. Doesn't even matter. Also, I gotta speak to you about.
I know M-Goat hasn't touched a woman over 60. She's got no arms and legs.
Something much more seriously. I have a hunch, a growing hunch, that Erica and Jeffrey Epstein may have crossed paths. Something is not sitting right with me about how she just keeps dancing around Jeffrey Epstein in her life. I am finding it increasingly difficult to believe that Erica just keeps coincidentally getting involved with countries and companies and schools that Epstein is involved with deeply. So
I like to imagine that, like, Alexander Dugin is just sitting there like putting prompts into an LLM fucking generator model, sorry. On all, like, find every connection between Erica Kirk, deep research function on, between Erica Kirk and Jeffrey Epstein. Prints results, sends to tips@candace.com, you know? That's what I. What is your take on the current situation in Tel Aviv currently? Even though 90% of footages on X might be AI, it must have already took some hits, right? Yeah, no, they're getting hit. 100% they're getting hit. I wouldn't say 90% of the stuff you see on X is AI. I don't know what the number would be, but at least for the most part, people are still clocking AI footage. But it is getting alarming how much more prevalent AI footage is becoming. Like it's not like AI footage is no longer laughably bad and obvious, but it's scary how good it's getting, especially if you're like on your phone, let's say, scrolling with your shitty resolution, and you see an AI generated image. And they're like, look, even like people with credentials, with a rapport, are falling for it from time to time. So it's like, imagine the average Joe that's just like, did you see this? Did you see this? Xi Jinping, he's got this like massive space drone mothership. We don't have that stuff. Why don't we imagine? Just imagine. It's like making everybody like schizophrenic. Like media literacy is at an all-time low. But also, to be fair, it's becoming increasingly hard to be literate. Just based on how much noise there is. It's like noise, misdirection, fake shit. But anyway, that's a long-winded answer to a pretty kind of basic question. Yeah, like Israel's getting hit. No doubt about it. I don't know the extent of the damage because it's illegal for Israeli citizens to publish the impacts of these missiles because they want to obfuscate the efficacy of the Iranian strikes. You know, fog of war. Smart. You don't want to tell your enemy how effective their barrages are. So it's kind of hard to say, but they're definitely getting hit. MGO likes the ones that roll around, yeah. Crazy. Briella Adams Wheatley is MGO's dream woman. I'm not looking that up. I'm not looking that up. I'm going to look that up in another window. I'm going to look that up in another window. Who is that? That's crazy work. That's crazy work. I don't... What are we doing? Okay, all right. Well, what I expected, it's what I expected. I don't know what I expected. No super chat option? Oh, well, it should be in the description. Is it not in the description? It's a link. Should be there. Is it not there? I'm not monetized on YouTube. Like, I don't have ads or anything. I think I need like 500 subs. I'm close. That'd be kind of cool. I wonder like what kind of process it is. Like, will they auto deny me due to the nature of of the content? Probably automated anyway. I feel like bans only happen if you like are consequential enough, you know? You're on spot, right? That wasn't famous enough? Okay, well, you don't have to put it like that. But yeah. Okay, yeah. $500, that's Kumquat's extended family. Bro's out there fucking conducting OPSEC, catching strays. Anyway. Man. Fuck, I'm so tired, dude. I'm gonna sleep so well tonight, I hope. Don't forget that this person is Jewish. I believe also in Israel. I know it says account based in the United States, but I remember like this is an account that tweeted constantly, but like during October 7th, I think it was October 7th or one of the major blackouts as a result of the war. This is one of the accounts that went dark. And this is an account that tweets like every single day. Oh shit. Dropping my little bottle cap. So
I went ahead and messaged the PR team, legal team.
And just well, did she talk about like, bitch, there's a war going on. I guess this is her first show talking about the war. At least she's calling out Trump. That's a W.
All right, you guys, happy Monday. Just going to pause.
Thank you for streaming while being exhausted. I always look forward to this time of the night. Oh, I appreciate that, Smelly. Yeah, I couldn't call off 2 days in a row.
Our Bride of Charlie series just for one day because there's just so much going on right now. Iran is literally on fire. Bill Ackman wants me imprisoned, apparently, for suggesting that American sons and daughters should object to being slaughtered for Israel. Why so triggered?
W? Wandis Wowens? W? Gotta give credit where credit's due. Gotta give Candace a lot of credit. You know, I always wonder, like, I feel self-conscious when I feel like I'm repeating myself. Because it's like, I remember what I've said before. I remember bits that I've done before. And I don't like repetition. It irritates me. I don't know how people just, like, have, like, the same... I've got people, I don't want to call people out, but I've got people in mind. Like, people who do, like, political commentary kind of stuff. And it's just, like, the same, like, basic, like, sort of, predictable takes. And they'll react to what's going on in the news. I'll like, let's take, like, Hassan Piker, who streams, like, 8 hours a day or whatever. Probably not that much, but... You get my point. And it's just like the same rhetoric reacts to, like, you know, these stupid fucking Republican Nazis are just like fucking, just like racist and shit. And it's like, whoa. Wow. I haven't heard that one before. Like, do you not feel like just exasperated? I get exasperated when I feel like I'm just looping. That's why, like, you know, we are in the second week of this war, and I just feel like, yeah, okay, it's, you know, it's progressing. Things are getting bombed. You know, I sort of given my tentative prediction, and it's all, everything is contingent, right? But I don't know. It's like some people literally just react to, like, liberal meltdowns every day. Wow, look at these like rowdy people in the cities. These dumb liberals and these like these scholars that are robbing this liquor store. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, don't you get tired of that? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. It's like, I try to have, like, a novel take. If I feel like I'm reacting to something I've seen a million times, it's like, haven't we seen this a million times? You know, how many times do we need to see, like, oh, I don't know. And it's like, I'm kind of ambivalent because, like, I get it. Like, when I see, it just feels like everything's just, like, rage bait nowadays. Half of my timeline is watching the war, just like, or like a third of my timeline, I don't know what the hell's going on with X, but it's gone way downhill. It's dog shit. Maybe like more dog shit than it was before. But like a third of my timeline is some shit about the war and how Trump is, like, you know, betraying us and whatnot. Another third is like women being stupid bitches. And the third is like Indian scams. It's just like, dude, this is just like, what the fuck? Are you just trying to put me in a bad mood all day? And it's like, on the one hand, it's like, yeah, this stuff is happening. It's real. This is not necessarily all rage bait if it's true. If it's like, you know, there are rampant Indian scams. Women are stupid bitches. And Trump is betraying the country. But on the other hand, it is just like, okay, do I need to see... Some of the stuff is just like, okay, do I need to see women being dumb whores for the billionth time? Nothing new is sort of learned from a lot of this stuff. And so it just becomes kind of exhausting. It's like, and I know this is not a hot take, but it is just, that's what these platforms are designed to do. It's designed to outrage, because that's like, then you care, and then you engage with something. You comment, this is fucking ridiculous. These fucking people are ruining the country. All caps, deport them all. Send. Yeah, it's like yeah, that felt good. Like, yeah, well, yeah, tweeting, yeah. So like, yeah, I know, I'm very, very aware that that's the psychology. That's how they get you to engage with shit. But it is just like, on top of everything just being, let's get this whole off the screen. This is how I feel. Yeah, on top of everything just being like shit right now, you have, I think I've made my point. I won't go on. I refuse to elaborate further. She did this during the last Iran war. She made about herself when she interviewed Nick. Yeah, I mean, I also don't think she understands war. She understands maybe instinctually or intuitively like petty drama, gossip. She understands that, but war is like way outside of her expertise. And that's like just true for women in general. Like they don't understand war. They struggle to understand logistics. They can't even like rotate a liquid in a bottle 45 degrees and visualize that in their head. It's like, how do you even understand all of these moving parts on a global scale? It's just like women view the world through the lens of being a woman. And they think they're at the center of the world. It's very difficult for women to detach themselves from their own point of view. Because that's kind of how they survive, Hassan Piker typically streams daily for approximately 8 hours, generally running from 11. Oh, thanks, ChatGPT. From 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Twitch. He is known for long form content with his 2020 election coverage famously, lasting 80 hours over the course of the week. But the money, Hassan made almost $1.2 million last year. Well, he probably made more than that. That's probably just how much he made, like maybe from Twitch paying out. But like, I have a hard time believing he didn't make like way more money on that based on sponsorships, donos. Probably at least 5 million. He pulls like tens of thousands of live viewers consistently. Like that's a lot. I know like his stuff is not like advertiser friendly, but still. If he's only making 1.2 mil, I mean that's then he's fucking up immensely. I just don't believe I think he's making more than that. Candace is just exhausting because she never lands. Yeah, it's just this constant. It's just gossip. It's literally just gossip. That's all it is. It's like, just picture her like at the office water cooler. That's her show. Every fucking night. It's just gossip. I heard this about Erica Kirk. Did you know this? Oh, this will drive you crazy. Did you know? Oh, get ready. She knew Jeffrey Epstein. I know, right? Like, when you look at it through that lens, it's like, oh, okay, this makes total sense. There is no conclusion because it's just gossip. It's just this yap session. Anyway. Generally speaking, can you elaborate more? Fuck you. I saw a video of AOC claiming how proud she was having Jewish root. Was I the only one that didn't know this? I guess so. You're just hearing that now for the first time? Oh, you didn't know that? You're just hearing now for the first time? Yeah, I remember that was making the rounds a few years ago. Yeah. Funny that, huh? Funny how that works. Yeah. All brown views. Damn, is we getting a show tonight? Overwatch. That's what 2B from Nier Automata, right? I read, and I don't know if this is what the fuck, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Is this edited? I remember, okay, this is like a total non sequitur. I remember like there was big controversy in like Overwatch 1 like 10 years ago because they changed Tracer's pose or whatever. I was never big in Overwatch. I have a friend who was, you know, who grinded the fuck out of that game, got like top 500 and all that. I don't know, it's like his big accomplishment. And, you know, he was talking about all of this. But this is like worse than the Holocaust. This is worse than like the Tracer cost, the OG Tracer cost. But I remember like I think the creator of 2B, this is like I don't even know why I know this. I guess it's just a result of like Gamergate and all that. But he was like he made his mission to like design his character, this character here, to have like the perfect ass. But this is like literally goes against the character, like the creator's wishes. Literally, this is going against the creator of this character, his original design. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? He made his mission. Look, he said, you know, this is like a cyborg, a robot. She's a robot or whatever. Sculpted to have the perfect booty cheeks. Okay? That's part of the lore. No respect for the lore. Shaking my head. Crazy. Keep scrolling up. Wow. Yeah, that was just totally... We're at that part where I'm just voice scrolling. They're gonna know what fifth column meant. Oh shit. Oh shit. Is this new? This is new.
Eighth Runt documentary was fantastic. Took a lot of courage to put that out there, and I loved it. If you make more like that, I'll make sure to support it. That was really dope. And
I got a name for the next one.
What is you want?
The next one's going to be Fifth Column.
What is it about?
It's pretty good, right? It's about the fifth column. Do you know what that term is?
No.
Nick uses it all the time.
No, tell me.
It's basically like a stay behind network. It's the infiltrators that are working behind the scenes, the partisan enemies that are inside your country working on behalf of another. The fifth column.
What I love,
it's historical.
Is Eighth Runt documentary was fantastic.
Even if you don't know, okay, even if you don't specifically know what fifth column means or where it originates from, surely you would know the context that it's colloquially being used when we're talking about politics. Surely you've heard it. I've heard that before. And then you remember, oh yeah, they were talking about them boys or whatever. Talking about Israel and their patronage network. You know, it's... No, we're supposed to pray for Sneako. We're not supposed to, you know, rape him. We're supposed to pray. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. What are we doing? Come on. Come on. Pray for Sneako. Andrew Tate doxed Sneako's parents? Did he? I saw that he said Sneako was like gay or something. But like, you know, take that with a grain of salt. That goes pretty hard, man. That's pretty cool. Okay. All right. All right. Bro, when is Nick going live? Please. Oh shit. I'm so fucking tired. Anyway, I think on that note, dude, I am so tired, man. I think on that note, with some rest, yeah, I need some rest. I'm exhausted. I cannot wait to go to sleep. Oh, I can't wait to go to sleep. Oh, it's gonna feel so good. You get those days where you just imagine, you get in bed and you're just like, yes, that's where I'm at right now. Any Johnny Somali updates? Hit the hay. Hit the, what's that Donald? Oh, Nick's going live right now, too. That Donald Glover hit the hay joke. That's a deep pull. Perfect time. Wow, whoa. Perfect timing. Let's go. Why am I not signed in? Dude, why? Rumble is so fucking dog shit. What is that thing? What the fuck is this shit? But what the bro? Nah. Where's Nick? Not even on the front page, shaking my damn head. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. Nick heard me. He's like, okay, all right, time to go live. Yeah, Free Mexican show starting. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Like I said, I know. Lower energy, more chill. Friday, I'll plan on having something a little more prepared, a little more well thought out. Hopefully, well, maybe hopefully not. I was gonna say hopefully something interesting happens, but with the way things are going, that's probably not a good thing. Hopefully nothing interesting happens because, damn, who would have thought we would miss the Nothing Ever Happens chud in the Big 26? Damn. Those were the good old days, huh? Those were the good old days. Who would have thought? Here we are. Can we go back to nothing ever happening? Anyway, guys. $2 super chat. You trolling me? Patrick Krusty is watching us. You missed that guy taking his fist. Anyway, guys, take it easy. Watch Nick. He's going live. I'm gonna go chill. Anyway, peace out and God bless.